June 2025. The United States is once again in flames. But this time the trigger wasn't just a protest, it was a federal immigration raid, a presidential order, and a constitutional standoff. Robotaxis burned, civilians clashed with troops, and the California governor was overruled by the White House. So, what really happened during the June 2025 riots? Why did protests spread like wildfire across America? And, are we witnessing the beginning of a constitutional crisis? It all began on June 6, 2025. Federal ICE agents launched a massive unannounced raid across Los Angeles, targeting undocumented migrants. Dozens were arrested, families separated, children detained, and honestly, videos of the incidents went viral within hours. That night, thousands took to the streets, angry, defiant, and afraid. This wasn't just about immigration, it was about who controls California, and how far the federal government is willing to go. What started as peaceful protest quickly turned violent. By late June 6, rioters had blocked the 101 freeway, burned multiple vehicles, including 5 Waymo robotaxis, seen as symbols of elite tech surveillance. Clashes with police escalated near downtown and the Metropolitan Detention Center. Police used tear gas, rubber bullets, and flashbangs. At least 72 civilians were injured, and over 120 arrested within the first 48 hours. Among the injured were 5 journalists, one of whom was hospitalized in critical condition. On June 7, President Donald Trump invoked the Insurrection Act and federalized 2,000 California National Guard troops, without the approval of Governor Gavin Newsom. By June 8, an additional 700 U.S. Marines were deployed to protect federal assets. By June 9, the total troop presence rose to 4,100, the highest in LA since the 1965 Watts riots. Federal troops patrolled city streets, guarded courthouses, and established no-protest zones near federal buildings. It marked a dangerous precedent, deploying military force against U.S. citizens. California's leaders pushed back fast. Governor Newsom called the deployment a hostile occupation. LA Mayor Karen Bass claimed the city was being used as a federal test case. On June 9, California filed a lawsuit against the federal government, accusing Trump of violating the 10th Amendment and the Posse Comitatus Act. The lawsuit demanded immediate withdrawal of troops, but Trump refused, calling the protests radical chaos and promising to restore order by any means necessary. By June 10, the unrest had spread across the nation. Protesters in New York, Chicago, Philadelphia, and San Francisco marched in solidarity. Each city saw varying degrees of disruption, though none as violent as Los Angeles. Nationwide, at least 9 protesters were seriously injured, and over 300 arrested across multiple states. The targeted destruction of Waymo robotaxis wasn't random. Protesters saw them as symbols of a technocratic elite, a state aligned with corporate surveillance, AI policing, and automation that leaves the working class behind. Burning them was an act of resistance and honestly a warning. As of June 10, 2025, military presence remains in Los Angeles. California's case has been fast-tracked to the Supreme Court, with an emergency hearing expected on June 14. Protests continue daily, more organized but under heavy surveillance. Americans now face a fundamental question: where does federal power end and state sovereignty begin? And when protests erupt, who decides the limits of democracy? This is more than a riot. It's a confrontation between state and federal power, between law and liberty, between fear and freedom. Thanks for watching World Geopolitics. Subscribe for more deep dives into the world's hidden conflicts and turning points.